Hello and welcome back to NWCL Beyond the Boundary. My name is Colby Donnelly, and today I'm joined by Cherry Tree Cricket Club's first team player, Mark Hadfield. How are you, mate?
Really good, thanks, Corby. Good to be with you.
Great. So today I want to ask you about your game of the weekend, a bit about Cherry Tree, and a few other topics as well. You okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely fine.
Great. So firstly, could you introduce yourself, please? So tell us about yourself and your involvement at Cherry Tree.
I've been playing at Cherry Tree now for 21 years, signed in 2004. Done every job with the club, every role from first team skipper, being a junior coach from under nines, 11s, 13s, committee member, and a lot of support roles in the club. Currently, main role is kind of social media and web administrator, and I'm involved with just started the fourth 11 this year.
Great. So we'll touch on the fourth line a bit later, but first, just want to have a quick look at last season. So your first team finished eighth in the league and also reached the quarterfinals of the T20 Cup. What did you make of last season, and what do you think your team have learned going into the new season?
Being in all honesty, it was a really disappointing season. We went in the season with massive high hopes. I think we have a good amateur side, and we last year we signed a Mickey Copeland, who is a young, up and coming, very talented professional cricketer based in South Africa for Bowling. And in all honesty, he didn't do what we hoped he would. Very, very talented cricketer, and it just with the combination of factors just didn't work out. Our amateurs as well, we were all going to put our hands up and say we didn't perform, and it's just one thing led to another. It just never worked out for us. Really, we just never got going, and it's one of those things. It can easily happen. You hit about a bad run of form, and you just don't ever get out of that kind of rut, which we didn't do last year until probably the last six games of the year.
Yeah, so would you say maybe the disappointment your team had last year, do you think that kind of is going to motivate you to kind of go on, push on this year to get promoted?
We felt we should have been up there in that top three, four last year to push for promotion, and we felt well way short, and it's kind of redoubled our efforts as amateurs to step up and do our bit to make sure we perform properly. But just all the club really, we've all geared up towards wanting to get into that top division, and we're doing everything to hopefully kick on and get there.
Yeah. So now I want to talk about your game yesterday versus Whalley. You bowled Wallally out for 76 and you won the game two wickets down with yourself taking four wickets and also getting two catches. Can you talk us through that game, please?
It was a strange game really because we turned up there looking at this deck, and I played a lot of cricket at Whalley over the years, and it looked an absolute belter, rock hard, well prepared, bit of grass left on the wicket, and I know for it means there's pretty life on the deck, so we're going to get more bounce than normal. So we were looking at whether to bat a ball first. We just felt the deck was going to stay good all day. We lost the toss. We ended up in the field, which I think if we won the toss, I think Charlie was actually going to field as well. We started the game and it wasn't even going well the first few overs. We changed things up a mini. Our pro opened the ball in alongside Joe Ince. And the first few overs, like I said, it wasn't going well for us. And the opening batters, they were looking strong. We got the first wicket, and I think the game changer for us was actually Joe Ince, who's bowled really well this year, pulling up lame after three overs. Charlie decided to put me on then. That was a massive game changer. I managed to get a couple of wickets in my first over. Meanwhile, Minnie was bowling the spell of the season for me. I think it's 12 overs for 14 runs at the other end. And I managed to get a few more wickets, ended with four wickets very cheaply. And they just never ever got going, Wally. And looking at their top six, it's a strong top six. They've made improvements this year, but they just couldn't get going. Levi, the pro, he's hung around hoping that some bad bowling were going to come somewhere along the lines. It just never did. And then Andreas come on, Andreas Sudnik, and cleaned up with four for six at the end. And we were really surprised because we looked at the deck and we thought it was more like a 220 to 250 deck. And then we've knocked him off in 14 overs with Charlie Elwood, our skipper, scoring 43 off practically zero balls, and Minnie, the pro, coming with 33 as well, and made very quick work of it. A lot earlier finish than expected.
And you mentioned Joe Ince there, and I remember, I think it was last year, the year before, he was playing second team cricket and he was doing quite well. Do you think, well, this in the last season, since he's been playing at the first team level, how well do you think he's adapted to that kind of the new style of cricket?
I think he has. He's looking really good. He's played fantastic well in the friendly, not just with the ball. He had a really good knock as well against Rishan in one of the friendlies. But we know Joe is a quality cricketer. I mean, he's played his first team experience like going back like 6 years ago now, maybe 7 years ago. He's had taste of cricket and had good runs, and then he's kind of found his way back into the twos. And now he's not just a kid coming through. He's a fully fledged senior cricketer now, and he looks over and ready to perform in the first team. And I'm really pleased with the start he's made. Yesterday wasn't his day. Obviously, he's got a bit of a back niggle now, but no, he's made a good start to the season, and we're hoping good things from him.
Yeah. And you mentioned your new skipper, Charlie Elwood. Last season, he had a very good year with a bat. But this year, how do you think he's adopted to his new role?
I think it's really tough. Many years ago, I was a young skipper, and it's hard when you've got senior people around the dressing room. But I think he's got the respect of everyone in that dressing room, and there's quite a few young guys, but even the old guys were, he's quality. He's not just a quality player, but he's a really good person as well. And he's like Mr. Cherry Tree. He loves the club. But yeah, he's all skippers make some mistakes, and but he's doing really well so far, making good decisions, and looking after the guys. And so far, so good. He's putting a couple of decent batting displays. He's dodged 50 twice out of 3 games in the league, but he's made a strong start himself. And I mean, I know he's got to kick on, but yeah, he's doing a good job so far, and hopefully he kicks on this year as a batter, but also as a skipper as well.
Yeah. And in the first team, I don't know if it is brother or other relative, but you got Charlie Elwood and Owen Elwood. Are they brothers?
Yeah, they're actually twins. Owen, another quality player, and he's had intermittent success in the past with bat and ball. He's had T20 tons and some good knocks in the league. But he's a cricketer. You hang your hat on. He's a quality cricketer, and he just really needs to show now what quality he's got more consistently, because there's a lot there with Owen. And yeah, he's him, Charlie, Joe Ince, Joe Littler, they're some of our core players for the club. You're looking for the next 20 plus years, really. They are quality. And, with us old guys are trying to play around them, really.
And even having your own brother in in the first team as captain, do you think that kind of helps him with this new role this year? He's got someone there who he trusts, and obviously the whole team as well. But do you think that kind of helps him a lot more this season?
Yeah, I think so. It helps him feel really confident and comfortable. I think, we are a really tight knit team. We're a really tight knit club, to be honest, and we're all in this together. It's not just a first team at the club; it is a Cherry Tree Cricket Club, and we have got a wider squad this year with players pushing for places from the twos. But not just that, the way we support each other as a club, and whether it's his twin brother or anyone, we're all behind Charlie. And as it comes to Owen is actually our T20 skipper as well. So this Friday when we play our first T20 games, it's role reversal for the pair of them, really. So yeah, the good support for each other, and I'm sure Charlie will support Owen as we play our first T20.
And so I'm focused on new transfers and just focusing on amateurs, and we'll go into your pro bit afterwards. So you signed Z Barder from Reed, Aaron Dignan from Littleborough, Lewis Strand from Rawtenstall, and Jake Chadwick from Greenmount. What do you think they'll add to the team this season?
Well, first of all four of them are absolute quality blokes. They're all local guys, and whilst if players come knocking on the door and want to sign for you, sign them if they're coming from the moon. But these guys, they're all local guys to Blackburn, and whilst it sounds like they've come from all over the place, like Louis is a Cherry Tree youngster that come through the system at Cherry Tree, coming to our first team, and then moved to giving himself a chance playing Lancashire League cricket for Rawtenstall. After a couple of years there, wants to come back. He hasn't played yet in the league as he's in his final year at uni, so he's doing his finals at the moment. Then he'll be rejoining us. But he's a quality player. Really lucky to have him back. With regards to Z, we've played against him for a number of years. He's another Blackburn-born lad. Started off at East Lancs, played at Fenny then before he moved on to Reed. But he's a local guy who gets on, and we know him really well. And he's fitting really well around the dressing room. Unfortunately, his 2 league games so far, he's had ducked both games that he's played in. But there's runs around the corner. He's quality, and he had a really good knock in the National Cup. We've no worries. So he's a great addition to the dressing room. Aaron, again, he's another local lad. When he was 7 year old, played at Cherry Tree before he moved on to clubs in the Ribble Valley, and then moved on, played at first team cricket for a couple of years over at Littleborough. But he's a lad that's desperate to keep. Whether he's openly said he's happy to keep in our twos, but he's desperate to be a wicket keeper, and it gives really good competition considering Lewis Strand is also a wicket keeper. But yeah, Aaron's a really good lad, young, up and coming, so it's good competition and good for our squad. And then Jake is another lad who is a batter, but also keeps as well. But he's come to us more of a batter, and he moved to the area a number of years ago. But he's really good lad. He's fitting well around the dressing room. He's got one failing. Unfortunately, he's a Burnley fan, but we'll forgive him that. But yeah, quality lad, and he's even kept one game for us this year. But he's moved to the area with his partner a number of years ago, and just wants some local cricket. So we just think the good guys, some good, good acquisitions, good quality, all of them with the bat, and adds a lot of competition to a squad. And that I think is going to be key this year, that we've got what we feel like a squad of 17 or 18 lads that can really kick on and form in our first team.
Yeah, and obviously you got new pro this year in Mini Barda. He's been at numerous NWCL clubs in the last couple of years, and I don't know if he was there in the Ribblesdale League as well. Can you talk about him and what he'll add to the team, both on and off the pitch?
We've played quite a lot against Midi in the past. Having proed at Fenny, so a former local rivals. They don't have a team in the senior league this year. Proed as well at Reed and then at Aussie. But as well as that, we know him very well. He's well known to us. He started at East Lancs. He's a Blackburn-born lad. In fact, he didn't start. He started even as a very, very young lad at Blackburn Northern, who are now a defunct club. So I think I played against him when he was a 14-year-old. Quite a long time ago, but he's a quality bowler, really good batter. But it's his competitiveness and how he kind of drags people along with him that's going to really support us this year. And whilst we, like we said last year, we signed a thoroughbred in Mickey Copeland, who had South Africa under 19s academy, first class career, which Minnie, with all due respect, it doesn't have any of those things. Yeah, that doesn't mean for league cricket he's not a quality player. I think he's a really good fit in our dressing room as well. He's made a good start, and I'm sure he's going to have a really successful season and beyond this season for us.
So now I want to talk about your juniors and your junior development. I know you've mentioned your involvement in juniors before. So I know you've got a third team, but you've also introduced a fourth team this year. Can you just talk about your juniors and at Territory and your strategy for developing them in senior cricket as well?
Yeah, well, we've had a long-standing history of developing good junior cricketers at the club, and I think, like a lot of clubs, we always find it difficult to necessarily retain them. The trappings of being an older teenager and finding other things in life, but as well as that, there's other clubs around as well, and Darwin have got a few of their first team players now have come through the Cherry Tree system, and we've lost a number of juniors over the years. What we try and do as a club is give them that really good grounding, quality coaching from the moment they arrive at our club as 5-year-olds through our all-star system. We've got an absolutely fantastic coach in Mark Butler, who's a level 3 ECB coach. He's been involved in the coaching education process for Lancashire for years. So we've got a really good start for our club, and through all the setup, we've got quality volunteers who are well qualified as coaches, got good experience as cricketers, who obviously develop these players, trying to make the best of them, but also give them a brilliant experience through cricket to improve them as people and have hopefully a fruitful life through the sport, but a fruitful life in general. In terms of developing ready for senior cricket, we talent identify those that we feel can progress at various times, whether they're 12-year-olds now or even 16, 17-year-olds that are moving into senior cricket, and kind of support them on their journey, giving them first kind of games, whether it be in the third 11. Now we're starting, like I said, this fourth 11, and then over time, giving them the support and performances and then move through the team. And whilst we've got players who are just starting their journeys now, we've got players like Joseph Littler, who's come through our junior setup most recently and progressed into our first team in the last few years, and starting to he's a quality player starting to show that as a senior now, and that's the kind of journey we go through at Cherry Tree, where we develop our own. We're not a club that bring in lots of players regularly. This winter's been a bit of an anomaly, and that's what we do really. We bring in our own, we develop our own over time.
Mm. And as a former captain and also someone who's passionate about junior cricket, so when you have a player who's performed well in the seconds and thirds, and obviously first team is a big jump from that, what's the kind of strategy to put them into first team? Do you, if you, would you be like, if you put someone in the first team, do you want them to ball it back depending on what the role is, or do you, or what's the kind of strategy for that? Do you rather leave them in second team and let them develop a bit more, or would you rather push them into first team and let them kind of develop on their own?
It's really hard that Kobe, to be honest. You've got to look at it on a case by case kind of basis. I love to kind of give them the opportunities and see, sink or swim. But you've got to see there's someone you might look at and you might get it wrong at times. I can think of somebody I got it wrong with a number of years ago that wasn't quite ready when I felt he was. And he had to go back to the down, went back to the second team for a year and a half. He came back and he was like a different person. And sometimes, we do like to give opportunities, and people around the club sometimes will say, "Oh, we're quick to accelerate and push people through the teams." And I suppose every club are eager to push the next big thing through the club. But you've got to expose them and give them chances. But at the same time, you've got to be careful not to actually kind of kill them off when they're 14 and 15. So it's a fine balancing act. And I think, like I said, you look at it, we kind of junior by junior. And when that time is right, you've got to bring them in and give them a chance to actually perform as well.
Yeah, and I know at Cherry Tree as well, you've got a lot of female cricketers. Obviously, with Lancashire and ECB want to expand the girls' cricket, and I know many other clubs in the Northwest doing that also. What do you think the benefits of having a girls' cricket team at Cherry Tree is helpful for you?
I think, to be honest, being part of our cricket club, it isn't just purely cricket. It's a massive social club. We're really lucky to be the kind of the heart of the community beyond cricket. And that social club involves not just a set of blokes, it's involving everyone in the community, including women. And cricket is just then an avenue for that. So some people find cricket from being social members, first of all, whereas others find cricket through they just from being young children, maybe siblings being involved in it, family, or just finding the sports. We've currently, I've been playing today, helping out for the third 11. My daughter Beatrice is playing the Thursday, and also another girl, Summer, and they both have very different journeys. In the Summer isn't from a cricket family; she found the sport and has kind of thrived and excelled in that, and she's doing fantastically well, developing brilliantly as a 14-year-old. My daughter Beatrice has kind of been born into cricket. My wife has a cricket background. Obviously, I do as well, and she's kind of been in that all her life, and she's playing and thriving and doing well as well. But it's lovely to see not just them progressing into hardball cricket, but we have a women's softball team as well, and there's players coming through there, and we've actually found some really, really good players have entered that, and it's just now persuading those good softball players to maybe make the transition to hardball cricket, and that's something we'll look at either through women's hardball or even then progress into our senior third or fourth 11 in the coming years.
Yeah, and I made this note on a topic before, and it's through social media. I didn't know obviously your involvement in it either. So I know you're very active on social media, advertising both your events and your cricket. So what would you say the benefits at Cherry Tree to having a strong social media presence?
Well, it's great. Well, like I said, we're not just a cricket, we are a community kind of club. There are people to use it as a hub, whether it's for meetings, whether it's to come and socialise, and to have that presence out there so people know what's going on, when it's going on, is absolutely vital. And also to give us that wider kind of connection with the cricketing community as well, to know that, we do exist. We're only a small backwater in the corner of Blackburn, like all cricket clubs are just small, cricket clubs in themselves in isolation. But to put yourself out there and make people know you are there, it gets you noticed. And I think it is really positive that it kind of, you thrive in a community when you're promoting yourself in the community.
Mm. And so the North, and I don't know if you're aware, but the Northwest Really Exec are looking to expand the league this year in the coming years. What would you say the positive you and Cherry Tree have experienced since being in the league?
Oh, it's been absolutely fantastic. And I think it's kind of the same in what I just said about being in your own little area. So as part of Ribblesdale League, it's very insular. You're in your own little bubble. You play the same clubs. You see the same people year in year out. But actually, the amalgamation with the BCL, or the remaining clubs from the BCL, has really kind of opened our eyes to new cricketers, new grounds, new places, traveling different directions, but also different styles of cricket as well. And I think one of the biggest striking things that struck me most about playing some of the traditional Bolton League clubs is they played different cricket to us, and their batters down the order really dug in that first year, and it stood out to me how they played a different style of cricket, and it's great. It just keeps you fresh in your toes. I'm 42 now. I played a lot of senior cricket in my life, and it just keeps it really exciting. Keeps the promotion relegation going, and I just hope that other teams outside the current Northwest Cricket League setup see that it's a thriving, interesting league. It's a league on the up, and think they fancy a piece of that really. And there's other big leagues in the area, but some of these clubs, they will benefit from coming and working with us in the Northwest Cricket League.
Yeah, we all know how important pros are in this league, and what have we thought about the quality of pros in the book from Bolton clubs and Ribblesdale clubs in the last 2 to 3 years?
Really interesting because there's a massive kind of difference in how clubs go about things, and some clubs. I mean, we've gone when we were first year in the Northwest Cricket League. We had Ross Bretherton, who already pros for us in the Ribblesdale League for a couple of years, and it didn't work out so well. And it wasn't because he wasn't good enough. He'd had two very good years with us, and his third year just didn't quite work out as well in terms of his runs and wickets, probably until his last six innings. But I think there's some big names being around the league. I think Little Lever, their pro budget might be probably a little higher than other clubs, and there's a few clubs like those. And to be honest, it's absolutely fantastic to get to play from high quality professionals, name professionals. It gives that bit of excitement. And over the years, I've played against pros, and you always get that buzz about playing at real high level pro ones you've seen on TV, either on the international stage or in domestic competitions around the world.
Hmm. What would you say the league's main asset is to attracting more clubs?
I think it's an inclusive league. It's everyone's welcome in the league, but I think it's also a really competitive league. I'm looking at in our league this year in the championship. Anyone can beat anyone. We seriously, in the 3 games we played, we beat Ribblesdale by 1 wicket in the first game of the season. Ribber, they're no mugs at all. They've got a good side. That batting line, they've got some serious depth. They've got Ryan Canning, who's played South Africa A, and he's been a pro for years, coming in at number 5 in their order. They're going to win more games than they lose. Then we've gone to Barnolds the week after. They've got overseas amateurs, a quality overseas amateur. They've got good amateurs at their club. The same at Whalley. Whalley have strengthened as well. So within our division, everybody seems to have been looking to strengthen over the winter. And likewise in the top division, whilst we'll look at it from afar because we're not playing in that, teams can knock each other off the perch any given day. And teams that were doing well last year aren't necessarily starting the season that well this year. Black Rod and Paddy Impact, who are two of the stronger teams and may well prove to be, haven't started fantastically well this year. So it's just a competitive league, and you can roll your sleeves up and give it a good go, whoever you are.
Yeah. And we all know the issues of communication, not just in the league, in business in general. So since being in the Northwest Trio, what have you thought about the communication from the league exec down to the clubs and the players as well?
What I've loved most about it, the communication, is actually how things have gone out from the exec through social media, and thinking realistically. Whilst I'm an old fuddy duddy, most of the players in the league are younger than me, and you're not going to get hit them through emails. It's going to hit them through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X. That's where you're going to, and that information has trickled out really nicely. And I think whilst some of the exec are previous Bolton League exec and some of the previous Ribblesdale League, I would say the communication has been a key improvement in the last few years since we've moved to the Northwest Cricket League, and I'd say that is a strength of the league.
Real. So now I want to talk about your playing career in some quick fire questions. So first one, your favourite cricketing memory.
I'm going to give two. I won't follow the rules. Favorite cricketing memory last year, playing for the third 11 at Cherry Tree, helping out once again. I got to bat with my daughter Beatrice. We managed to put on like 48 for the last wicket. She got a highest score that day, and it was just absolutely wonderful. I've spent a lot of time ferrying her to grounds for games, even coaching her at times, and And just to be there when she had so much joy out of the game was an absolutely wonderful memory. But also from a personal point of view, in 2014, after we'd had a really rough ride at Cherry Tree, we'd been terrible for a few years. Winning we split into two divisions in the Ribblesdale League that year, and we actually won the division, the lower of the two divisions to get promoted, and that was an absolutely amazing day. That team should not have won the league, and we just performed out of our skin for the season. It was that is really special. It always will be.
Brill. And the best player that you've played with?
Best player I played with, actually, I'm not going to talk about a Cherry Tree player now. Gareth Cordinley from Darwin Cricket Club. When I was younger, I grew up at Darwin as a junior and played with them until I was 21. And he was absolute quality. He was a former contracted player at Lancashire, and it was like having two pros in the team, having him as an amateur. Absolute quality.
Mm. And the toughest amateur and pro player that you've played against?
Toughest amateur I've ever played against. Now, it's probably going to be a bit of a weird one, and it sounds like I'm trying to be a bit of a suck up to the league exec. But when I played as a batter, I could never, ever score a run against Chairman Bill Slinger. He was an absolute nightmare to bowl. He bowled when later in his career. I think if he bowled any slower, the ball would go backwards. I just couldn't ever get him off the square. It was a nightmare as a batter, bowling his slingy left arm, horrible deliveries at Edenfield. Just could never get him off the square. And I think I tossed away a couple of games just batting against Bill, but it was a bit of a nightmare. In terms of pros, I'm thinking again from a batting point of view. Imran Khalid, who proed at Barnoldswick and at Settle, he was a nightmare. Beautiful left arm spinner, always bowled around the wicket to me. I couldn't pick his arm ball for anything, and the amount of times I nicked off to him, and I couldn't do anything. I don't think I ever scored more than 10 runs against him. I must have played him like 8 or 9 times.
And your favourite ground to play at besides Cherry Tree with clubs who are currently in the Northwest Cricket League?
That's a really tricky one. A bit of a toss up, and I'm going to lean towards the Ribblesdale League grounds. I really love playing at Padiham, to be honest. It's a bit of a bowl or a cauldron atmosphere, and the fans really make it quite a buzzing atmosphere to be at. So it's a really good ground for atmosphere point of view. But for views, I'd have to say I love Salisbury. The view over to the countryside of the Ribble Valley is delightful. So bit of a toss up between those two grounds.
And your favourite cricketing legend?
Favourite cricketing legend, undoubtedly Shane Warne. He was a hero to me. When I started loving and watching cricket, to watch him bowl, I can remember watching live when Mike Gatty received the ball of the century. It was I kind of fell in love with cricket around that period in my life. So I was got to say Shane Warne.
And last one, what's your biggest pet peeve in cricket?
Pet peeve in cricket, I've got a few because I'm a bit of a grumpy what's it. I think people who don't talk, even like after the game, you can be so competitive on the pitch. I mean, other people probably judge me. I can be a bit of a nightmare on the pitch, and I'm hard work with opponents. But I'll go off the pitch straight away, shake their hands, and I'd love nothing more to share a drink on the bar and chat to people. Like people who don't see that a cricket match is played on the field, you're playing hard, but then go off and just chat and be sociable. I don't just it's like life's too short, and just get on and enjoy each other's company. So it's people who won't talk. It's going to be my pet peeve.
Mm. So I think that's all the questions I have. Is anything you'd like to add?
No. It's I've got to say, from my point of view, I know at my club there might have been a couple of people that weren't keen to come on and speak to you, Kobe, but I'm going to say this, it's lovely to do it, and it's just nice to be promoted. So can I say thank you to you and thank you to the league for kind of trying to promote ourselves in the league, and long may it continue.
Brilliant. So, well, thank you for coming on, and I wish you best of luck for the season.
Yeah, cheers, Kobe. You too. Thanks very much.
Cheers. Thank you.